Astronauts have always enjoyed a rock star type reputation, but I've never heard of any of them trashing hotel rooms. But it was on my list of what I wanted to be when I was a kid. So today, we're going to find out some great American hero weird on today's episode of 5 Weird Things. Welcome to the channel. You know, I was too little to understand the moon landing when I was a kid, but I saw it later, and Neil Armstrong's first step off the ladder and his "one small step for man" speech never fails to send chills down my spine. What stood out to most of you about the astronauts? Let me know down in the comments. Now first, the things we should all know. Astronauts undergo rigorous training to meet physical demands of space travel. This training includes massive amounts of physical, mental, technical, and simulation training to ensure that astronauts can handle the challenges of microgravity and the physical and mental stress of space missions. Space missions often involved international collaboration, especially nowadays. Astronauts from different countries work together on projects such as the International Space Station, and this collaboration promotes the exchange of knowledge and expertise, fostering a global approach to space exploration and research out of what used to be a serious competition between nations. Weird thing number 5, the fallen astronaut ceremony. Apollo 15 Commander David Scott took to the moon, not on the NASA list, the aluminum statuette known as the Fallen Astronaut, and a plaque containing the names of 14 astronauts who died. Together they formed a tribute to both American and Soviet astronauts who had lost their lives. The crew kept the memorials existent a secret until after completing the mission. After public disclosure, the National Air and Space Museum requested a replica of the statue. Weird thing number 4, the NASA love triangle. Astronaut Lisa Nowak had an affair with fellow astronaut William Oefelein, who was involved with another astronaut, Colleen Shipman, at the time. Nowak drove from Houston to Orlando, over 900 miles, reportedly wearing diapers to avoid bathroom breaks. Nowak arrived and confronted Shipman at the Orlando International Airport. The confrontation turned physical, and Nowak was arrested by the police. Weird thing number 3. Alan Bean, astronaut, artist. Alan Bean was the 4th man to walk on the moon, and after retiring from NASA in 1981, turned to art and became the first and to date the only artist to have visited the moon. Alan Bean's paintings have focused on depicting the experiences of lunar exploration. He sought to capture the unique perspective and emotions of being on the moon. Bean added an extra layer of authenticity to his artwork by incorporating small pieces of his Apollo spacesuit and actual moon dust into his paintings. This unique approach allowed him to infuse his creations with a tangible connection to his lunar experiences. Weird thing number 2, space smells. Astronauts have reported a distinct smell associated with their spacesuits after spending time in space. The odor is often described as a combination of 3 distinct scents. The smell of burnt metal. This could be due to the exposure of the spacesuit materials to the harsh conditions of space, including radiation and extreme temperatures. The smell of gunpowder. This might be related to the materials used in the construction of the suit or the effects of the vacuum of space on those materials. And the aroma of seared steak. The exact origin of this smell is not entirely clear, but it adds to the unique olfactory experience reported by astronauts. And finally, weird thing number 1, Buzz Aldrin's space communion. After Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin landed on the moon on July 20th, 1969, Aldrin radioed back to Earth that he intended to observe the Christian sacrament of communion. He had brought a small communion kit provided by his home church with him on the mission. According to Aldrin, "I poured the wine into the chalice our church had given me. In the 1/6 gravity of the moon, the wine curled slowly and gracefully up the side of the cup, and it was interesting to think that the very first liquid ever poured on the moon and the first food eaten there were communion elements." He read a Bible verse and took communion, reflecting on the significance of the moment. While Armstrong and Aldrin had discussed the idea of taking a moment for private reflection and prayer before the mission, they decided not to broadcast the event to the public. Well, that's it for today's episode. I really enjoyed this one. I hope you did too. Feel free to let me know any thoughts, complaints, or praise down in the comments. And today's code word is space dust. Put that in the comments to earn some very awesome moon karma. Take care. Have a great night.